Good morning, ladies. Good morning, morning, morning. So I am not sure how many of you will be able to join me live, but it was on my heart this morning when I got up to go ahead and do this message. And so if you don't join me live before I end, then you guys can certainly watch this throughout the day or as many times as you want to, and come back and read the comments. So I'm very excited to bring this message. Hey, Michelle, to bring this message, because we're talking, and this really stems from some conversations that I have had with a number of you outside of this particular community and those that are connected to me personally. There seems to be this trend across the board of people who are in a place where, of course, everybody's reflective at this time of the year, right? Everybody's reflective. We're all thinking back, we're all looking forward, right? So we're all reflective. But many of us are still caught up in holding on to what has been said about us over the year, what we have ingested, what we have listened to, what we have held on to, the good and the bad, right? And so today, this morning, I really wanted to just spend a few minutes talking about the power of letting go and really understanding and defining what that means and how it can impact our lives and what we need to do to move forward. So I'm just going to give you 3 tips this morning on letting go, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you as you are thinking about what you want to do next year and what you want to do for the rest of this year. It'll shed a little light on your journey. So, as usual, my usual, I have a quote that I want to start this off with, and then, of course, being the writer in me, has definitions of words that she wants to share. So, here's the quote. And this quote is by Steve Maraboli. So if you are familiar with him or you follow him or you've read any of his words, you know that his thoughts are always very powerful. I consider him to be one of this generation's thought leaders. And so he has this quote that says that there are people in our lives or in situations in our lives that have happened, and I'm paraphrasing, that have been a part of your history. But it's important for us, once we reach the realization that our history let me back up, that come to the realization that they have been a part of our history, but not our destiny, right? And so, in other words, there are many people, situations, circumstances, and things that have been a part of our past lives, that have been a part of our past situations, past relationships, etc., which they've been there, right? We can't undo the past, but just because they've been a part of our history, just because they've been a part of our past, doesn't mean that we have to carry them over into our destiny. Doesn't mean that we have to carry them over into our future. So I thought that to be a very powerful quote to begin this session. Now, let's take a brief moment to define the words let and the word go. It's going to change your life, I promise you. So the word let means to cause to, move out of, or away from, right? Let me repeat. Let means to cause to, move out of, or away from. To cause to, or move out of, or away from. That's the definition of the word let. The definition of the word go means to proceed without delay. So to cause to, move out of, or away from, proceeding without delay. By definition, that is how you define letting go. Now, the definition that I gave you for let was a transitive verb, but look at what let means in the intransitive sense. And I know I'm being technical, but whatever, go with me. In the intransitive sense, let means to hinder or prevent. Now, think about that. Originally, let means to cause to, move out of, or away from, to proceed without delay. But another tense of that same word means to hinder or prevent. So how is it then that you can cause to or move away from swiftly, right? Moving forward without delay, but in the same sense, you're also hindering or preventing. Profound. I know. Because the thing is, and the difference between causing something to move away from you swiftly and hindering or preventing that same thing from moving away from you swiftly is you. Right? At the end of the day, no matter what it is that we're faced with, no matter what it is that we're dealing with, no matter who has said anything to us, whatever the case may be, it all comes down to us. Right? The personal accountability that we spend so much time in this community talking about, the level of understanding ourselves, the level of internal validation and self-validation, and not looking to others for our worth or to define who we are. The variable in the equation, the way that you're really able to identify the transitive or the intransitive verb that you are bringing forth in your life, all depends on you and your action. Right? It all depends on you and your action. So we can go on forever and ever talking about, what so-and-so did, what this person did. This person didn't support my business. This person doesn't believe in my dream. This person wouldn't sow into me. It all depends on you, because you can either let that propel you to your next level, or you can allow that to keep you exactly where you are. And it's unfortunate for me to say that for many of us, myself included, there has been a time where I have allowed somebody else's feedback to keep me exactly where I was. And it wasn't their fault, and it wasn't their responsibility. They were just being who they were. But somehow I ingested and took on what they said to me, and it became my life's constitution. Right? Now, I don't care if it's mother, father, sister, brother, friend, cousin, business owner, whatever, right? If you're holding on to the negative things that people are saying about you, and you're allowing that to cripple you so that you can't even move forward, that's really on you. Because then my question becomes to you is, where is your resilience? Where is the power that is on the inside of you? Where is that tenacity of spirit, that ability to bounce back, that ability to let things sort of roll, go in one ear and go out the other, and to let water roll off a duck's back, or whatever it is that we say, right? Where is that ability on the inside of you? What happens to it? Where does it go in those moments where you really, really, really need to pull on it? Right? Where does it go? What do you do with it? Are you compartmentalizing it? I mean, what are you doing with that? Because it's in those where we really need to tap into and to pull on that is already on the inside of us, in spite of what people may say. And unfortunately, the experiences that we have in our personal lives impact our business. Right? It impacts our business. And so we wonder why we can't move forward. We wonder why we're in the same position. We wonder why nobody's investing in us. We're not even investing in ourselves. Let's just be real. We wonder why, this person has much more clients and we started at the same place. It's because of you. You are the variable. Because you're looking at sister so-and-so or brother so-and-so, and they're just making massive moves, and they're just moving forward at an accelerated pace, and you're still here. Because you haven't learned to let it go, right? The problem is our words say to us, our words tell us, or we think in our minds that, okay, we got to let this go. We can't carry this. We got to move from it, blah, blah, blah. We say that. But our actions are hindering or preventing. So it's really up to you. Are you really willing to move to that space to where you're actually going to let it go? Or are you going to always allow, or are your actions going to always subconsciously hinder and prevent you? Because the thing about letting go is that it happens over time, not overnight. But it can be a swift action if you let it. It can be something that happens quickly if you give yourself to it. It can be something that happens expeditiously if you get out of the way. Right? So I told y'all, it's not going to be a session like anything that we have ever had before. So the variable is you. So 3 steps to letting go. 3 steps to letting go. And I want you to sort of remember these, write them down, do whatever you have to do. The first is, and this is where I believe that many of us get stuck, and that is with the spirit of fear. Right? The reason we can't let it go swiftly, The reason we're hindering and preventing is because of the spirit of fear. See, I'm comfortable over here. I'm comfortable staying right here because, this is all that I've been able to do. This is as far as I've been able to go. It works for me. I have a system. It's proven and people get results and I'm fine right here. But God wants you over here, right? There's so much that he has for you over here. But that spirit of fear somehow intersects where we are to where we want to be. And what happens is once that spirit of fear intersects us on our journey, right, it cripples us. Right? See, I believe, and this is spiritual for a minute, so y'all just go with me. I believe that fear is a tormenting spirit. Fear is a tormenting spirit because it's all that we can think about, right? Our fear overtakes us and we sit there and we wonder why we can't make any movement. And as soon as we make the decision that we are going to move forward, regardless of what, then there it comes. And there you go, right? There you go, just constantly going through the motions. You're on the merry-go-round. You know what I mean? And we got to get off. We have to get off. Don't allow the spirit of fear to torment you, to cripple you, so that you are staying exactly where you are. And the fear, and this is not just any type of fear. This is the fear of the unknown. This is the fear in us because we are unable to control the results, right? That's the thing. That's why we're scared and that's why we're afraid. And that's why we allow what people say about us that's why we carry it in our spirit because we can't control the results. What if they're right? What if they see something that I don't see down the line? What if I really can't reach this goal? What if I can't launch this business? What if I can't produce this book? But here's the thing. That's a whole lot of what ifs. And frustrated faith, and I heard somebody say this today on my timeline, that frustrated faith is not faith. So you're either going to operate from fear or you're going to operate from a state of love and you're going to operate from a state of trust. Right? Because that fear will always come to intersect where you are to where you want to be. It will always come. Fear is something that has to constantly be overcome. We all deal with it, right? So we all deal with it. We have to constantly overcome this fear because at the end of the day, we can't control the results. All we do is work hard, operating in the gifts that God has given us, showing up fully and consistently every single day. And what we have to do is we have to trust him with the results and the outcome. But it's not for us to allow fear to stop us. And it's not for you to allow someone who has spoken negatively into your life to stop you. Because at the end of the day, that person does, and y'all know how I am, so let me just be real. That person doesn't matter. That person doesn't know your life. That person doesn't know where God is taking you. That person can only see with their limited vision. All of us are human. Our humanity is finite. It's limited. We can't see, right? The Bible tells us that our ways are not his ways. His thoughts are not our thoughts. We can't see. All we can do is trust him, operate from a place of faith, and move forward swiftly. Causing or moving out of or away from, proceeding without delay, swift action. That's what this new year is going to be about, taking swift action and not allowing anything to stop us, right? Not saying one thing and our actions are doing something else. I said on my Facebook page a couple of weeks ago that our words and our actions have got to align. If they don't, we're going to always be in this constant cycle. Our wheels are going to always be spinning and we're never going to make any serious movement. All right, so the next thing that you have to overcome in letting go is a lack mentality, right? And I'll say it. You have to overcome a lack mentality and a poor money mindset, right? And I'll say that forever. So I'm sure you guys know what I mean. You can infer there. Is that what you think about, what you speak out of your mouth, if your actions are going in the adverse of what you're saying, it's confusing. It's confusing God. It's confusing the universe, or whatever it is that you believe in, right? It's confusing. So it's really about what do you want? Because whatever you want is what you should be speaking. It's what you should be thinking. It's what you should be seeing. So it's the mindset that has to shift and that has to change. And here is the thing that I learned. Many times we have unhealthy, we're in toxic relationships, professional, personal, etc. And so when we're talking about letting go and moving forward, sometimes those toxic relationships also have some unhealthy attachments built into them. Right? So if you're in a situation, if you're connected to someone, to something, to some purpose that is no longer serving you, that has in the interim become toxic, know that that overall toxic relationship has some sub-level unhealthy attachments, which means that there has to be a purging that needs to happen in your process of letting go. You have to have time and space to rid yourself of all of that negativity, of all that negative energy, of all of those bad vibes, of all of that whatever is on the inside of you from those unhealthy attachments, right? You have to take the time to purge yourself from that and allow yourself to go through this purging process, because in this purging process, you're ridding yourself of everything that you say that you don't want, right? And as you are moving forward into the new you, into the place that you want to be, you give yourself room to be able to receive that, and you open yourself up to get the blessings that you so rightly deserve. But you got to purge yourself. And your words and your actions have to line up. See, we can say that we know we should not be connected to, this particular business or this particular person because they have hurt us or they've shown us their true colors, but we stay connected. I don't know why we stay connected, but we stay connected, right? But we have to learn how to let go. We have to learn how to rid ourselves of these toxic relationships and the subservient, unhealthy attachments that come along with it. We have to no longer allow the spirit of fear to intersect us when we're on our purpose journey. So much so that it cripples us to stay right at that point of intersection. See, that's the thing. When the fear comes in our lives, when it shows up, wherever it shows up where we are on our journey, it stops us right there, right where we were. No matter the point, no matter the step, no matter the process, that is where we stop. Right? And rather it moving us forward, it sends us back to where we were. So we got to learn how to let go, guys. We have to learn how to let go. It's too much of our personal energy is given to situations and people that no longer serve us. And I'm telling you, if your personal life is jacked up, your professional life will be just the same. And we cannot attract that which we deserve if our stuff is in shambles. Right? You can't have it. Stuff just can't be all out of whack, and then you expect God to come on in and sprinkle a little fairy dust and make everything all right. It doesn't work that way. Right? Everything has to be working in sync. Everything has to be working together. So, first point, fear. The second is overcoming that lack mentality, getting rid of those toxic relationships and unhealthy attachments. And this one is the biggie. This third one is that we have to learn how to let go of other people's opinions. We have to learn to let go of the need for external validation. Bottom line, everybody has an opinion. We all have an opinion about a situation, a circumstance, a person, etc. A venture. We all have an opinion. But it's what we do with the opinions of others that matter. Because sometimes we're going to have to get to a place where we learn what's for us and what we need to keep on rolling. We don't have to ingest. We don't have to take on or carry in our spirit everything that somebody says about us. I mean, you guys do know that, right? You don't have to do that. You don't have to listen to what somebody else says about you. You are your own person. This is your life. You are responsible for yourself. And the opinions, the thoughts of other people do not matter. Right? So you take what you need to take from the conversation. You take what you need to take from the opportunity. Anything else in that does not serve you, you got to let it go. But we hold on to it. And we hold on to it. And sometimes we do it unbeknownst to ourselves. We're holding on to stuff people said to us years ago, and it's still resurfacing. because we didn't go through that purging process, because we didn't let it go swiftly, quickly, right? So you have to learn how to get rid of that need for external validation. And where does that come from? Where does it come from? From people who are so passionate about their purpose, people who are so whose desire to live a new life, to embrace a new level of living, and they still need external validation. Like, where does that come from? And the bigger question is why do you need that? If you know that you're operating from a state of purpose, if you know that you are moving in your God-given gift, if you know that this is what God has called you to do, then that is all that matters. People won't see your vision because they're not supposed to. It's not theirs. Right? People won't see where you're going. They don't see the level of faith that you operate from because it's not theirs. It's yours. And so I can't convince you that your vision is what it's supposed to be. You're the one, you have to do the convincing of yourself. And maybe it is a lack of self-confidence, Robin. I don't know. But if that's the case, then that's something that we need to be working on. We need to be working on developing our sense of self before we jump out there into these ventures. Because if we don't deal with that lack of self-confidence, self-esteem, or whatever we determine it to be, it's going to, hey, Regal, it's going to always carry over into our lives. And it'll follow us for the rest of our lives if we don't deal with it. So I know many people have all of these really, really large goals, and we have these desires and we have these dreams, and they're big, and they should be, right? Because we serve a big God. But at the end of the day, if we're not dealing with the internal stuff that's on the inside of us, it doesn't matter how big your vision is, because that fear will show up and it'll stop you. That need for external validation will show up and you won't get it. Or other people's opinions will be invited into your lives, and it's not helpful. They're not sowing into you. They're not speaking positively into you. So you're going to have to be comfortable in yourself, knowing that what you are dreaming, knowing that what you see, knowing that what your vision is crazy, right? And it takes a level of crazy faith, right? But you don't need somebody else's opinion to tell you that this is what you should be doing. You got to know that for yourself. So I wasn't trying to be preachy. I was just trying to be like, let me get this message off. Because it's too much. We're crying over people that mean us no good. We are praying to eliminate the thoughts and opinions of others from our hearts when it should have never been there in the first place. Right? Tears and years invested and wasted over things that don't, in words that don't even matter to where God is going. So we talked a couple of weeks ago about increasing your faith muscle. In order for you to let go of people, of situations, of circumstances, of the level that you're on to get to where you need to be, you're going to have to build your faith muscle. You're going to have to increase your level of self-confidence. You're going to have to learn how to move forward without the opinions, without the support of others. Because I promise you, if you build it, they will come. If you just keep going in the direction that you are supposed to be going in the direction that you know you need to be going in, everything will line up as it's supposed to be. So resist the notion or the need for external validation. Resist the notion that somebody else's opinion about your life matters. Resist the notion that you can't move through the fear, that you can't push past it. Resist the notion that this is always where you will be financially, and this is always the level that you have to operate from. God does not want us to operate from a state of lack. I refuse to believe that. That devil is a liar. He does not want us to operate from a place of lack, but it's us, right? Remember, well, you guys may not have watched this, so you got to go back and watch the beginning when I gave the definitions. But the difference between letting go, right? The difference between causing to or moving out or away from or hindering or preventing is all dependent on you and your actions, right? So I think, and I'm wrapping this up, as we come to, what's today? 20th. Today's the 20th. 21st. I don't know. Anyway, so we got like what, 10 days, 11 days left in this year for us to make some decisions, for us to really decide that, you know what, I don't care what anyone has to say about me. I don't care what people try to do to me. I don't care of the sabotaging behaviors that folks will try to launch my way. I'm determined. And I'm determined to go where I'm supposed to go. I'm determined to go where God is desiring for me to go. And I am not going to let any person, any place, anything, any thought, any words, any experience, any situation, I refuse to allow anything to stop me from reaching my next level. And so I will go through these next 10 days, right? And this is something that you got to do for yourself. I will go through these next 10 days and I will determine and spend the time reflecting, or maybe listing out. Sometimes you may need to list out what you need to get rid of. Take out a piece of paper and write it down. And at the end of your writings, determine that you're going to let that go, that you're not going to carry that over into your new year, into your 2017. Right? Because here's the thing. The next 10 days isn't promised to us. The next 30 seconds isn't promised to us. It's important for us to take the swift action now. Because now is all we have. So if you let people cripple you, if you let people hold you back, if you let people get in your way, that's on you. If you don't do anything with what's on the inside of you because of whatever the case, fill in the blank, that's on you. If you can't move forward to your next level, if you can't learn what it really means to let go so you can invite into and attract into your life what you want, that's on you. That's the bottom line. Right? And that's it. So since you're reflecting anyway, then do some self-reflection. Do some inner reflection. Take some time to say, what is it that I need to rid myself? What is it that I need to purge from my life? What is it that I need to let go of so that my 2017 is absolutely freaking amazing? Right? And again, it's personal. Right? It's personal. I can't look at it for you. I can't do it for you. You can choose to do this exercise or not. That's on you, right? You can choose to do this exercise or not. You can ignore it. You can say, you know what, this wasn't for me. I'm good, whatever. But we all have things in our lives that we got to let go of. We all have things that we need to release. It's important. It's the only way that we can move forward is freely without having anything to hold us back. So anyway, so I wanted to come on and do this message because I missed my time last night. I hope that this is helpful. I do want you to know that I absolutely believe in every single one of you in here. I believe in what you have to offer. I believe in where you're going. I have a certain level of faith that what you purpose to do, that you will actually accomplish, right? That's what I believe. But you guys are going to have to believe that for yourself. And I'm not saying that you don't, but I'm saying that there are areas of our lives that have a level of unbelief. So we got to deal with that. Because where you're going is no match for where you've been. And I believe that every single new year that God allows us to see, He determines, He is predestined for us to go higher. But we can't go higher with this stuff holding us back, y'all. Like we absolutely cannot. So I wanted to come on, wish you guys a very, very, very Merry Christmas. There is no homework due this week, so you can take time off and join your family. Of course, I will be working the rest of the week. So, yeah. And I'll be doing some reflection. I got some things that I need to do to work on to get my 2017 started off right. But I want you to join me on that journey of self-reflection. I want you to really, So I want you to really take some time and do some internal work and just see where you are. You know what I mean? See where you are, see where you need to be. Ask God to reveal it to you. And He will. He'll show you those areas of your lives that you need to purge from, those unhealthy attachments that you need to get rid of, those people, those thoughts, those words that have been spoken. He'll bring it all back to you for you to burn it up and release it so that you can move forward and make 2017 the best year yet. Okay? Cool. So that's all I wanted. I love you guys. I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. Do y'all know that I still have not done the first ounce of Christmas shopping? I am such a slacker with this thing. Anytime, Takima. Yeah, I am such a slacker with this Christmas stuff. Like, I got to get my life, honey, because I'm like, it'll be new Christmas Eve and I don't have the first present. I don't have a tree, no decorations. Thank you, Jesus. But anyway, so I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for being in here. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for sewing into these projects. Thank you for just for everything. It means a lot to have your support, to know that I have a community, a space that I can go to when I need whatever I need at the moment. I know that you guys are there for me, so I appreciate it. And I know that you guys are there for each other. And so lean on each other, talk to each other, consult with one another, check in with each other and say, hey, how's it going? How are you doing? Is there anything that I can do for you? It doesn't take anything away from you to do that. So love you all so much, so much. I'll see you online and I'll see you in the community. Robin.